Captain June Kim stood on the bridge of the UES Thunderbolt, his eyes fixed on the main screen. The massive alien ship hung against the blackness of space, at least 10 times larger than his vessel. Its surface shone like polished metal under the distant sun's light. June's hands gripped the railing tightly, his knuckles white. "Captain, they're sending another message," said Lieutenant Hannah Park. The young woman's fingers moved quickly over her control panel. Her usual calm voice now carried a hint of worry. June nodded. "Put it on the main screen." The image changed to show a tall being of light. It looked almost human, but was too perfect, too bright. When it spoke, its voice seemed to come from everywhere, at once. "People of Earth, we are the luminous ones, your creators. We made you. We shaped your world. We are your gods returned. Bow to us now. Give us the worship we deserve. If you refuse, we will reset your world and start again." June felt a chill run down his spine. The Thunderbolt was humanity's most advanced warship, built to protect Earth and its colonies. But they had never faced anything like this before. "Same message as the last 3 times, said Dr. Tae-Woo Lee, the ship's head scientist. The older man stood beside June, his face lined with concern. "They claim to be gods, but they use ships. They travel through space like we do. Gods wouldn't need ships." "What do we know about their technology?" June asked. Intelligence officer Soo Min-yoon stepped forward. She was the youngest senior officer on the Thunderbolt, but her mind was sharp. "Their ship has power readings unlike anything we've seen before. They could probably destroy us with 1 hit. But there's nothing magical about it. It's advanced technology, not divine power." June turned to navigator Jin Choi. "Where are they headed?" Jin looked up from his screens. "They're still holding position, at the edge of our solar system. But their engines are warming up. I think they're preparing to move toward Earth." The bridge fell silent. This was supposed to be a historic moment, humanity's first contact with aliens. 3 days ago, the giant ship had appeared near Neptune. The Thunderbolt, already on patrol in the outer system, had been sent to make contact. For 3 days, Dr. Tae-Woo had tried to establish peaceful talks. For 3 days, the aliens had only repeated their demand: worship us or be destroyed. June walked to the front of the bridge and looked at his crew. Each face showed the same mix of fear and determination. They had trained for many things, but not for meeting beings claiming to be gods. "Send a message to Earth," June ordered. "Tell them these aliens are hostile. They're not gods. They're conquerors using religion to try to make us surrender without a fight." Hannah nodded and began sending the message. "What are your orders, Captain?" asked Weapons Officer Yoon-ji Kang. Her hand hovered over her control panel, ready to arm the ship's weapons. June took a deep breath. The Thunderbolt carried humanity's most powerful weapons. Yet against the alien vessel, they might not be enough. Still, they had to try. "Move us between them and Earth," he said. "If they want to reach our home, they'll have to go through us first." The Thunderbolt's engines hummed to life as Jin plotted their course. The ship moved smoothly, taking up position, directly in the path the aliens would need to take to reach Earth. "Captain," called Hannah, "I'm picking up strange signals from the alien ship. They're broadcasting some kind of energy pulse toward Earth." Tae-Woo rushed to her station, studying the readings. His face paled. "This isn't just a communication signal. It's activating something on Earth. Multiple locations around the planet are responding to this signal." Sumin pulled up a map on the main screen. Dozens of spots on Earth lit up, mostly at sites of ancient human settlements and monuments. The Great Pyramid, Stonehenge, Easter Island, Göbekli Tepe, she read, all showing sudden energy readings. "They planted technology on Earth," Tae-Woo said, his voice filled with awe and horror. "Thousands of years ago. That's why so many ancient cultures have similar myths about gods from the sky." Chief Engineer Dae-Hyun Cho joined them on the bridge, wiping grease from his hands. "Captain, we've finished the final checks on all weapon systems. Everything is ready." "Good," June said, "because I think we're about to need them." The alien ship began to move, its massive form gliding slowly toward the Thunderbolt's position. "They're broadcasting again," Hannah said. The glowing figure appeared once more on the screen. Human vessel, move aside. Your world belongs to us. We ceded it long ago, and now we have returned to harvest what is ours. Your people will serve us as they were always meant to. Those who resist will be removed. June stepped forward. This is Captain June Kim of the United Earth ship Thunderbolt. Earth is under the protection of the human coalition. We do not recognize your claim to our world. We are a free species. We bow to no one. The alien's light seemed to pulse with anger. You exist because we willed it. Your defiance is like a child striking its parent. You will learn your place. The transmission cut off. Immediately, the alien ship's surface began to glow with building energy. They're charging weapons, Yunji called out. Energy readings off the charts. Shields to maximum, June ordered. Arm all defense systems. The crew moved with practiced efficiency, preparing the ship for battle. On the screens, reports flooded in from Earth. The ancient sites were now fully activated, broadcasting the WoW aliens' message directly to humanity. Millions of people around the world were falling to their knees, overcome by what they believed was a divine presence. They're trying to win without fighting, Suman realized. If enough humans believe they're gods and surrender, then they won't need to destroy our defenses, Taewoo finished. They'll be invited in. June's jaw tightened. Not if we can expose them first. Humanity doesn't need gods anymore, and we certainly don't need conquerors pretending to be gods. Blinding beam of energy shot from the alien vessel, narrowly missing the Thunderbolt as Jin executed an emergency evasive maneuver. The ship rocked violently but held together. Return fire, June ordered. Show them that their children have grown up. As the Thunderbolt's weapons powered up, June knew this was just the beginning. The war for humanity's freedom and its soul had begun. Gods or not, these beings would learn that humans no longer lived in caves, frightened of lightning and thunder. Humanity had become a force of its own, and the Thunderbolt would be its thunder. The Thunderbolt shook as another energy beam from the alien ship barely missed them. Captain June gripped his command chair tightly. Damage report, he called out. Shields holding at 78%, Engineer Dae-hyun reported from his station. But we can't take many direct hits from weapons that powerful. Weapons Officer Yoonji studied her screens with intense focus. Their weapons are energy-based, Captain. Very advanced, but definitely technology, not magic. Not divine power. June nodded. This confirmed what they suspected. These luminous ones were not gods, but aliens with highly advanced technology. They were using humanity's ancient beliefs against them. Target their weapon systems, June ordered. Let's show them we can bite back. The Thunderbolt's railguns powered up. These weapons fired metal projectiles at incredible speeds, fast enough to punch through most ship armor. Yoonji locked onto a spot on the alien vessel that showed high energy readings. Firing, she announced. The ship vibrated slightly as the railguns launched their attack. On the main screen, they watched as the projectiles struck the alien ship. Small explosions bloomed on its shiny surface. Direct hit, Yoonji said with surprise. We actually damaged them. The alien ship stopped firing. For a moment, there was silence on the bridge. They're opening a communication channel, Lieutenant, Hana said. Put it through, June ordered. The glowing figure appeared again on the screen. Its perfect face now showed anger. You dare attack your creators? This is blasphemy. June stood up straight. We are defending our home. You claim to be gods, but gods don't bleed when struck. Your ship can be damaged like any other machine. The, glowing being seemed to grow bigger, its light painfully bright. We gave you life. We can take it away just as easily. You have forgotten your place in the universe. Dr. Taewoo stepped forward. If you truly made us, then you made us to be free thinkers. Humans don't bow easily. We've outgrown the need for gods. The alien's face twisted with rage. The communication cut off suddenly. They're doing something, Sumin warned. New energy. Signatures forming around their ship. The massive alien vessel began to release hundreds of smaller ships. Like a swarm of angry insects, they poured out from hidden bays in the larger craft. Are they attacking us? June asked. Jin checked his Navigation screens. No, Captain, they're ignoring us. They're heading straight for Earth. Su-Min's fingers flew over her console. I'm tracking their projected paths. They're targeting major cities and population centers. Beijing, New York, Lagos, Mumbai, London. The bridge fell silent as everyone understood what was happening. They're going to make examples, June said grimly. Show humanity what happens when they don't get the worship they demand. We can't stop them all, Yoonji said, her voice tight with frustration. There are too many. Taehyun suddenly looked up from his station. Captain, we might have one option, the quantum displacement system. Everyone turned to look at the chief engineer. The QDS was the Thunderbolt's newest and most experimental weapon. It was designed to create bubbles in space where time moved differently. Inside these bubbles, a target would experience time at a tiny fraction of normal speed, effectively trapping them. The QDS hasn't been fully tested in combat, Daehyun continued, but it might be our only chance to stop those smaller ships before they reach Earth. June considered this. The QDS was powerful but dangerous. If it malfunctioned, it could trap the Thunderbolt itself, or worse. How many ships can it target? At once? He asked. 5, maybe 6 with the power we have available, Daehyun replied. Not enough to stop all the ships, but maybe enough to slow them down and buy Earth some time to prepare. Do it, June ordered. Target the lead ships first. Daehyun nodded and began the complex process of bringing the QDS online. At the same time, June turned to Hana. Send a warning to Earth. Tell them what's coming and that we're doing everything we can to stop it. Hana quickly sent the message. Almost immediately, her console lit up with responses. Earth Defense Command is scrambling all available ships and weapons, she reported. But most of our fleet is spread throughout the solar system. It will take hours for them to reach Earth. And we're getting strange reports from the surface, Su-Min added. Those ancient sites are broadcasting with more power now. Millions of people are experiencing visions, religious experiences. Many are calling for humanity to surrender to the returned gods. While others are preparing to fight, Hana continued. Earth is dividing over this. June shook his head. This was exactly what the aliens wanted. Humanity fighting itself, weakened from within. QDS is ready, Captain, Daehyun announced. Target the first wave of those ships, June ordered. Fire. When ready. Yoonji's hands moved over her weapons console, selecting targets. QDS targeting system locked, firing. From the Thunderbolt, invisible waves of energy shot out. Where they touched the small alien ships, space itself seemed to bend and distort. 5 of the lead ships suddenly slowed to what looked like a complete stop. It worked, Daehyun exclaimed. Time inside those bubbles is now moving at 1,000th normal speed. For them, a single second will take almost 17 minutes to pass. Recharge the system, June ordered. Target the next wave. But before they could fire again, the main alien vessel turned its attention back to the Thunderbolt. A massive beam of energy shot forth, striking the human ship directly. The bridge lights flickered. Consoles sparked. Crew members were thrown from their seats. Shields down to 32%, Daehyun shouted over the noise of failing systems. Hull breach on Deck 4, emergency seals activated. Return fire with everything we have, June commanded. The Thunderbolt launched its remaining conventional weapons, missiles, railguns, and energy beams. They struck the alien vessel, causing more damage to its outer hull. But the massive ship seemed barely affected. Another communication came through, but this time it was from Earth. Captain Kim, said a grim-faced woman in a military uniform. This is General Park of Earth Defense Command. Reports are coming in from around the world. Some governments are considering surrender to prevent further attacks. The alien ships will reach our atmosphere in less than 20 minutes. June's mind raced. The QDS could stop a few more ships, but not all of them. Their conventional weapons weren't enough against the main vessel. Then he remembered. The Thunderbolt had one more weapon. One so secret that only he and 3 other crew members knew about it. General, he replied, hold position as long as you can. We have one more option. He cut the communication and turned to his crew. Su-Min, Daehyun, Tae-woo, come with me. The rest of you continue targeting those smaller ships with the QDS. The three officers followed June off the bridge. They took a private elevator deep into the ship's core. There, behind layers of security, lay the Thunderbolt's greatest secret, the Prometheus Protocol. As they stepped into the heavily guarded chamber, Sumin gasped. At the center stood a device unlike anything else on the ship. It glowed with a soft blue light. "Is that?" she began. "Yes," June said. "Technology reverse-engineered from alien artifacts found on Mars 50 years ago. We believe it was left by these same beings." Taewoo's eyes widened. "You mean we've turned their own technology against them?" June nodded grimly. "And now it's time to use it." The blue light from the Prometheus device cast strange shadows on the faces of Captain June and his three officers. They stood in the secret chamber deep inside the Thunderbolt, looking at humanity's last hope. "How does it work?" Sumin asked, her eyes wide with wonder. Daehyun stepped forward and placed his hand on the smooth metal surface of the device. "It broadcasts a special frequency that disrupts their technology. We discovered it when studying the alien artifacts on Mars. The Go." "Same aliens?" Taewoo asked. "These luminous ones?" June nodded. "We believe so. The writing and symbols match." The ship shook violently as another blast from the alien vessel struck them. Alarms blared throughout the Thunderbolt. "We're running out of time," June said. "Daehyun, how quickly can you get the Prometheus protocol ready?" 10 minutes, maybe less," the engineer replied. "But there's something you should know, Captain." He hesitated, then continued. "The power needed to run this device will drain our engines completely. Once we activate it, we won't be able to move." June's face remained calm, but his eyes showed he understood what this meant. "A sitting target." "Yes, sir," Daehyun confirmed. Another explosion rocked the ship. "Bridge to Captain Kim." Hana's voice came through the communication system. "The alien ships are almost to Earth's atmosphere, and the main vessel is charging up what looks like their biggest weapon yet." "Begin the activation sequence," June ordered Daehyun. Then he spoke to the communication system. "Hana, tell all hands to prepare for emergency protocols. I want all non-essential personnel to the escape pods." "Sir?" Hana's voice showed her surprise. "That's an order, Lieutenant." "Yes, Captain." As Daehyun worked quickly on the Prometheus device, June turned to Sumin and Taewoo. "I need you two to return to the bridge. Make sure everyone follows the evacuation order." Taewoo shook his head. "Captain, I should stay with you. The Prometheus device is partly based on my research." "And I'm not leaving either," Sumin said firmly. "You'll need someone to monitor the aliens' responses." June looked at them both, then nodded slowly. "Very well." The three of them watched as Daehyun continued his work. The engineer's fingers moved quickly over the control panels of the device. Meanwhile, on the bridge, Hana made the announcement. "All personnel, this is not a drill. Proceed to escape pods immediately. Repeat, all personnel proceed to escape pods." Yoonji looked up from her weapons station. "What about you and the captain?" "Essential bridge crew will remain until ordered. Otherwise," Hana replied, though her voice trembled slightly. "Now go, that's an order." Throughout the ship, crew members hurried to the escape pods. Some moved calmly following their training. Others showed fear on their faces, but still moved with purpose. Back in the Prometheus chamber, Daehyun straightened up. "It's ready, Captain." "What exactly will it do?" Sumin asked. Daehyun pointed to a screen showing Earth. The ancient sites were glowing brightly now, their energy signals getting stronger. Those devices they planted on Earth thousands of years ago? They're receiving signals from the main alien ship. That's what's causing the religious experiences, making people think gods have returned. And Prometheus will disrupt that signal? Taewoo guessed. Exactly, Daehyun confirmed. It will broadcast our own signal, one that interferes with theirs. It should shut down all their technology that's based on the same principles. But will it affect their weapons? June asked. Daehyun's face grew serious. We don't know for sure. This is untested technology, Captain. The ship rocked again, harder this time. Hull breach on deck 2. Hana's voice came through the communication system. Shields down to 15%. Is everyone in the escape pods? June asked. Almost all, Captain. Essential bridge crew still at stations. June made his decision. Order all remaining crew to the escape pods. That includes you, Lieutenant Park. But, sir, that's an order, Lieutenant. There was a pause before Hana replied. Yes, Captain. Good luck. June turned to Sumin and Tae-woo. You should go too. This isn't your fight. With all due respect, Captain, Sumin said. This is everyone's fight. Those beings want to enslave humanity. I'm staying, as am I, Tae-woo added. June looked at them both, then nodded. Dae-hyun? The engineer smiled grimly. Someone has to run this thing, Captain. I'm not going anywhere. Then let's get back to the bridge, June ordered. We'll activate Prometheus from there. The four officers hurried through the empty corridors of the Thunderbolt. Emergency lights flashed red. The ship groaned and creaked around them. When they reached the bridge, they found it deserted except for Jin, who stood at his navigation station. Navigator Choi, June said with surprise. I ordered all crew to the escape pods. Jin turned. His face was calm. Someone needs to plot the final course, Captain. June started to protest, then stopped. He understood. Very well. Take us closer to the main alien vessel. Sir? Jin looked confused. We need to get the Prometheus signal as close to their command center as possible, June explained. The closer we are, the more effective it will be. Understanding dawned on Jin's face. A collision course. Yes, June confirmed. Once we activate Prometheus, we'll have no engine power, but momentum will carry us forward. Jin nodded and turned to his console. Plotting course now, Captain. Sumin took her place, at the intelligence station. The alien ships have reached Earth's atmosphere. Cities are reporting attacks. On the main screen, they could see the massive alien vessel, now much closer than before. Parts of its hull were damaged from the Thunderbolt's attacks, but it still looked immensely powerful. They're charging their main weapon again, Sumin reported. Energy readings are off the charts. All escape pods have launched, Tae-woo announced, checking a different screen. June sat in his command chair for the last time. Dae-hyun, prepare to activate Prometheus. Jin, execute collision course. Sumin, open a channel to Earth. Each officer acknowledged their orders and moved to complete them. The face of General Park appeared on a side screen. Behind her, a command center was filled with activity. Captain Kim, she said, the alien ships are attacking major cities. Our defenses are barely holding. We're about to activate the Prometheus protocol, General, June replied. It should disrupt their technology. Be ready to target any ships that lose power. General Park's eyes widened slightly at the mention of Prometheus. She knew what it meant. Understood, Captain, and thank you. June nodded once. Then the communication ended. Course laid in, Captain, Jin reported. Impact in 3 minutes. Prometheus ready to activate, Dae-hyun added. The alien vessel grew larger on the screen. Its surface glowed with building energy. They're about to fire, Sumin warned. June took a deep breath. Activate Prometheus now. Full power. Dae-hyun pressed the final sequence on his control panel. Deep within the Thunderbolt, the alien-derived technology came to life. The lights on the bridge dimmed as power drained from all systems to feed the Prometheus device. A wave of energy, invisible but powerful, burst from the human ship. As it spread outward, something remarkable happened. The glow on the alien vessel flickered. Their charging weapon sputtered and failed. It's working, Tae-woo exclaimed. On the screen showing Earth, the ancient sites suddenly went dark. The alien ships attacking cities began to drift aimlessly. 2 minutes to impact, Jin announced. The main alien vessel was trying to restart its engines to move away from the approaching Thunderbolt, but the Prometheus signal had disrupted their systems. A communication signal came through. The glowing being appeared on screen, but now its light was flickering, fading. What have you done? It demanded, its voice no longer powerful, but filled with fear. How do you have this technology? June stood tall. We found what you left on Mars. We learned. We adapted. That's what humans do. You cannot defeat gods, the being insisted. You're not gods, June replied calmly. You're just visitors who stayed too long. And now it's time for you to leave. The communication cut off. 1 minute to impact, Jin said quietly. The 5 officers of the Thunderbolt stood at their stations, facing their end with courage. They watched as the alien vessel grew larger and larger on the screen. June looked at each of his loyal crew members one last time. "It has been an honor," he said simply. The others nodded. No more words needed. The Thunderbolt, broadcasting its disrupting signal at full strength, continued on its final journey, carrying humanity's defenders toward the false gods who had underestimated them. The Thunderbolt crashed into the alien vessel with tremendous force. The explosion lit up space like a new star. People on Earth could see it as a bright flash in the night sky. For a moment, the world stood still, watching. In command centers, around the globe, military leaders held their breath. Would the sacrifice of the Thunderbolt and its brave crew be enough? General Park stood in Earth Defense Command, her eyes fixed on the main screen. Tears ran down her face as she watched the explosion fade. "Status report on the alien ships," she ordered, her voice steady despite her grief. "The smaller ships are drifting, ma'am," a young officer reported. "They've lost power completely. Our forces are moving to capture them." "And the main vessel?" The officer studied his screens. "Heavy damage from the collision, but it's still partially functional. Some systems appear to be coming back online." General Park's face hardened. "Launch all remaining missiles. Target what's left of that ship. I want nothing salvageable." "Yes, ma'am." Earth's defense satellites and remaining ships fired everything they had at the damaged alien vessel. Missiles and energy beams struck it from all directions. Explosions bloomed across its surface. The once mighty ship of the self-proclaimed gods broke apart, pieces of it drifting into space. The threat was over. But the story was just beginning. 3 months later, the world had changed. Jin's mother placed flowers at the memorial in Seoul. The massive stone monument held the names of the 5 heroes who had stayed aboard the Thunderbolt. Captain June Kim, Chief Engineer Dae-hyun Cho, Intelligence Officer Soo Min-yoon, Dr. Tae-woo Lee, and Navigator Jin Choi. Their sacrifice had saved Earth. Similar memorials stood in cities across the planet. The crew of the Thunderbolt had united humanity in a way nothing else could have. Lieutenant Hannah Park, now Captain Park of the new ship UES Phoenix, stood beside Jin's mother. She wore her formal uniform crisp and clean. "Your son was very brave," she said softly. The older woman nodded. "He always wanted to see the stars. Now he is among them." They stood in silence for a moment before walking together toward the nearby research facility. This building, like hundreds of others around the world, studied the alien technology recovered from the smaller ships and from the ancient sites on Earth. Dr. Min Kwan, the lead scientist, greeted them at the entrance. "Captain Park, Mrs. Choi, thank you for coming." He led them through security doors into a large laboratory. Scientists worked at various stations, examining pieces of alien technology. In the center of the room stood something covered by a cloth. "We've made remarkable progress," Dr. Min said. "The Prometheus signal gave us the key to understanding their technology, and the information recovered from the Thunderbolt's final transmission was invaluable." He gestured to several people in the room. "Many of the escape pod survivors are working with us now. Their experience with the aliens has been crucial." Hannah nodded. She saw several familiar faces from the Thunderbolt's crew among the scientists. "What have you learned about them?" she asked. "The beings who called themselves the Luminous Ones?" Dr. Min removed the cloth, revealing a detailed holographic display of the galaxy. Certain stars were highlighted in red. "They visited Earth thousands of years ago," he explained. "They weren't the only advanced species exploring the galaxy, but they had a specific method. They would find worlds with developing intelligent life and plant technology designed to influence that life's evolution." He touched the display, zooming in on Earth. Ancient sites lit up across the planet. They built these sites and devices to appear miraculous to primitive humans. The pyramids, Stonehenge, Easter Island statues, all contained technology that would occasionally activate, creating what seemed like divine events. They programmed these events to match astronomical cycles, solstices, eclipses, planetary alignments. So they created our religions? Mrs. Choi asked, sounding disturbed. They influenced them, Dr. Min corrected. They wanted humanity to develop with a belief in powerful sky gods who would one day return. They were preparing us to accept them as our masters when they finally came back. But why? Hannah asked. Why go to all that trouble? Resources, Dr. Min said simply. Earth has rare elements they need, and humans would make a compliant workforce if they believed they were serving gods. He moved to another display, showing scans of a small alien ship that had been captured. We've learned they've done this on at least 12 other worlds. They return every few thousand years to harvest resources and check on their experiments. Earth was just the latest world on their schedule. But they didn't expect us to fight back, Hannah said. No, Dr. Min agreed. They expected worship, not warships. They moved to another part of the lab where engineers were building something new. It looked like the Prometheus device from the Thunderbolt, but larger and more advanced. This is our planetary defense system, Dr. Min explained. Based on the Prometheus protocol, if they ever return or if any of their kind come looking for them, we'll be ready. Will they come back? Mrs. Choi asked quietly. Dr. Min's face grew serious. We have to assume they might. The data suggests they're part of a larger civilization. When these gods don't return, others may come looking. Hannah stared at the new device. Then we'll be ready for them too. Later that day, Hannah stood alone, on a balcony overlooking the city. The sun was setting, painting the sky in beautiful colors. People moved about below, going about their lives. Children played in a park nearby. So much had changed since the battle. The world's governments had united in a way no one thought possible. The United Earth Coalition now worked together to build defenses and explore space. The technology recovered from the aliens had advanced human science by decades, but the greatest change was in how humanity saw itself. The ancient religions hadn't disappeared, but they had transformed. People no longer waited for divine salvation or feared divine punishment. The knowledge that the gods were simply advanced aliens had freed humanity from thousands of years of manipulation. Humans now looked to the stars not with fear or worship, but with determination. If there were false gods out there, there might also be real friends. And if more enemies came, humanity would be ready. Hannah touched the captain's insignia on her uniform. In 2 days, the Phoenix would launch on its first mission. They would visit Mars to learn more about what the aliens had left there. Then they would venture further, to the edges of the solar system and beyond. She thought of Captain June and the others who had sacrificed themselves aboard the Thunderbolt. Their last message had been sent to all of Earth, broadcast on every channel. We are not alone in the universe, but we are free. Remember us not as heroes, but as humans who stood against false gods. Look to the stars not with fear, but with courage. We were never meant to kneel. We were meant to rise. And humanity had risen. The beings who claimed to be gods had intended to enslave Earth. Instead, they had united it. Their warship had turned faith into fallout. But from those ashes, a stronger, wiser humanity had emerged. Hannah smiled as the first stars became visible in the darkening sky. The Phoenix would launch soon, carrying humanity's hopes and dreams to the stars. Not as servants of false gods, but as explorers charting their own destiny. The age of gods was over. The age of humanity had truly begun. The end of they claimed. To be gods, humanity's warship turned faith into fallout.